Hey guys, Ryan Higgins here. If I'm starting off a podcast like this, that means something went wrong again after last week's weird edit. This week we had more problems. I'm pretty sure we have narrowed it down to a faulty cord. Hopefully, next week and going forward, we will not have these audio issues. Of course, if it is something more severe, we'll look into fixing our recording equipment. But fingers crossed, it's just this crappy cord seems to be the problem we had on the Geekbox a little while ago. And I think it's the same thing here. I thought it was fixed, but apparently not. So what's going to happen is you're going to hear Toby talk about the Defenders for quite some time, and then we're going to have a nice little musical interlude, and then we're going to go directly into questions. Sorry if we missed your question. We talked about some stuff in the middle, but no worries. We'll cover all that stuff later. We still got a pretty good length episode, even with that missing 20 minutes. Maybe if you want to hear us sound like robots for 20 minutes, I can post that on the Patreon page or something. I don't know. But anyway, we're just going to go ahead and throw it up. Very sorry for the mistake, and hopefully next week everything is back to normal. Fingers crossed. Enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to the Comic Conspiracy episode 321 for the week. Wait, 321? 322? Yeah, 321. That sounds right. 321 for the week of August 22nd, 2017. My name is Ryan Higgins. Let's take three. Who's here with me this week?
Old man, flashy, paper girl, Bryce Larsen, Ask Annie, son.
What? Mouse, Toby.
And boring old Charlie.
Reading things off the wall in front of your face?
Yes.
No, it's not the wall. It's the
Art Spiegelman.
It's the frickin' little corner shelf you have. I'm going to go as long into this podcast as I can without swearing.
Okay, good.
It'll be a test.
It'll be 3 minutes.
Challenge accepted.
So I don't know what happened to the recording last week. It totally screwed up. We started to record again this week, and it screwed up again. So fingers crossed this is actually correct. It looks correct, but I don't know what the heck. So again, let's hope this recorded right. And if it didn't, well, whatever. We'll throw it in the trash and not do it. But I'm assuming this is recording correctly. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about this week. I want to start with our awesome favorite thing we were supposed to do last week, but didn't, and we missed.
The description of Marvel Comics?
There are going to be some Marvel Comics in this list. Yes, we have our July 2017 comic sales at comic shops.
I love this.
By our good friends at Comic-Con. They've ran down all the numbers here. It was a pretty small month, and July definitely is showing that we're off to a slow start to 2017. Although my hope with Metal and Legacy, we will have a very strong finish to the year. But for the first half of the year, yeah, it's been a little on the downside. So let's see. We have many comics, most of them featuring Batman. But
no doubt.
What do you think the top 10 comics of July 2017 are?
I believe that, let's see here, 2 of them and no more were Batman titles, whether it's Batman or Detective, and I think that they were both Batman.
Well, Batman is on this list, yes. Batman number 26 and number 27 are on here. Back up over 100,000 copies. 107 for number 26 and 102,000 for number 27.
So what places were those?
Number 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Batman is in another one of these titles, but for now, yeah, Batman 26. And now Batman 26 too, I'm going to assume the sales bump here was because of the story arc, but also because of that awesome Poison Ivy variant cover that was on that. And you're going to start to see...
Oh, those DC variant covers.
Well, I would love to see if Diamond is able to pull out variant cover sales, because Marvel had a killer July because of those Jim Lee variants. June and July, their sales were up pretty significantly. Big bumps across the board. June, they had all the Mary Jane variant covers. July was the Jim Lee X-Men covers. And I definitely huge increases in some of the sales because of those titles.
But it's not going to last, right?
It lasts for the one issue, right?
Until the next round of really awesome variant covers.
Sure. Okay, so I believe that 1 and 2, I don't know, were there 2 issues of Secret Empire released in July?
There's probably like 7 issues of Secret Empire, wasn't there? Yes, number 6 and number 7 are on this list. The 5th and 6th comic at 85,000 and 81,000 copies.
Oh, okay. Wow, okay, it wasn't Batman or a big Marvel crossover that was number 1?
Well, it is Batman that's number 1, but it's not called Batman.
Is it Dark Knight, whatever the fuck?
Dark Days, the casting, number 1.
Oh!
The second part, the
That
lead-in
comic
to
is
Metal.
probably not confusing at all that I found incredibly confusing.
Lead-in to Metal. 128,000 copies, number 1 comic of...
100 what?
128,000 copies.
That's great.
Number 1 comic of July 2017.
Yeah, I liked it, but it seemed very confusing coming from outside of the DCU. For all of those of you that are still indoctrinated.
If you haven't listened to last week's episode yet, you can hear how much Toby hated Metal because it was a shitty comic for Ryan and people like me.
You are Ryan, though.
I know.
I hated it.
Well, you were mad because it's a Ryan comic, not a Toby comic.
I was not mad about it.
Anyway, okay,
You got
so
the facts wrong.
so I believe that X-Men Gold is on there.
No, we're close, but an X-Men title is on here.
Blue.
Astonishing X-Men number
Oh, because
1.
number 1, yeah.
122,000 copies. That's the number 2 book.
122 for number
very
1.
Yep.
Starring Phantomex, Deadpool, Gambit, Psylocke, Cable, my main man. Not Charlie's main man. That is, I guess, not surprising, but I'm going to say it's kind of surprising.
It didn't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but that didn't have quite the same level of crazy variant covers.
Well, if you ask Higgins, they
No,
Well, I mean, all number ones have some amount, but I don't
Okay,
remember
well.
seeing like.
No, yeah.
still the
yeah.
reason they sell anything is because of variants, right?
Yeah, no. A lot of the current stuff hasn't had.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a book with. I mean, I think Peter Parker may have been the last book with like crazy.
Oh my God! Speaking of Peter Parker,
Crazy variant.
dude, how good has Spectacular Spider-Man been?
I haven't read any of them. They're on my stack to read.
Dude, Chip Zdarsky doing
He's great.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. No, he's
Yeah.
that's right up his alley. I'm super excited to start reading that.
Oh my God!
Super astonishing. I haven't read number 2 just came out, but I haven't had a chance to read either yet. So I'm excited to give those.
I'm
guys a
liking
try.
it.
Yeah,
Wait, number 2. I've read 2.
2 came
Even
out
number
last
3.
week. Yeah.
No, correct him, Charlie. I'm looking at Charlie for the radio
I
listeners.
read number 2 last week. Whether or not it came out last week, I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
Yeah.
But I read it last week. I can tell you that.
Anyway, Chip Zdarsky, Spectacular Spider-Man. Go read Spectacular Spider-Man. It is, what's the word I'm looking for? Legendary.
I think you should just call him a spectacular, but that's just me.
That's the fucking...
So we need 7, 8, 9,
it.
10. Talking about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's also on this list for another book.
Okay, it's obviously the...
Scarlet Spider.
No.
No.
Ah, fuck you all.
like-
Probably not even
I
top
like-
100.
I like,
Fuck
I like
you
your
all.
smirk, like, I know. Okay, it's obviously... what was it?
Spider-Man 2,
Spider-Man 2, number 1.
Wait, what is that? What is that?
the Peter Parker, Miles Morales, Bendis follow-up to Spider-Man.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What is that? Is that an ongoing or a miniseries?
No, it's
Series.
miniseries. You
first
remember
one was a couple
before
years
they?
ago.
Yeah, you remember before they?
When the Ultimates universe,
Yeah.
Miles Morales and
Yeah.
Peter Parker came in. And so then now they have a sequel to that?
Yes.
Sort of like Civil War 2?
Well, except
Good?
done by Bendis.
Just kidding, I like
again,
Civil
and-
War 2.
67,000 copies, the number 10 book of the month.
Okay, so what are we? Which numbers are we missing?
7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, and 9. Well, they're obviously Marvel books.
2 of them, yeah.
Yeah, well, the
Darth
George
Vader?
rules.
No.
Then Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah. Star Wars 33, 74,000 copies, the number 7 comic.
Dude, I'm so butthurt about Star Wars taking all of Marvel's great talent and watering down the rest of their books. Okay, well, let's
8
see.
and 9. 8's not Marvel, it's also not DC.
Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, number 169, 67,000 copies, number 9 book.
Okay,
And number 8,
It's almost like this gets repetitive.
and number 8, it's a number 1. It's a Marvel comic. It's a character I fucking hate.
Oh, the incredible Gwenpool.
Close.
Deadpool.
Very close. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe again. Number 1.
Really?
That had a lot of covers. 74,000 copies.
Incredible that, like...
That's the number 8 comic.
That
Did any
it's
of
actually
the,
more... Actually, frankly, it's more incredible that you keep discounting this book. Like, I hope that you ordered a shit ton and that you
Oh,
sold
yeah.
out.
Yeah, we sold-
just to
yeah.
F yourself.
I just don't like Deadpool. Like, whatever.
None of the. Were any of the Generations books on?
No,
that
that's
much?
all.
Okay.
That's all.
By the way,
Yeah.
Deadpool is in general very annoying, but he's been very good in Uncanny Avengers. Pepe Larraz writing, Jared Dugan.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. My voice didn't crack, I swear. That was actually just me questioning my answer. Uncanny Avengers has been enjoyable. Good art, good storytelling. They caught the Red Skull. Spoiler alert.
What?
And
I didn't say anything about Uncanny Avengers. Let's talk about the top 300 comics sold.
it's been great.
6.27 million copies sold within the top 300 comics for July 2017. That is 27%, minus 27% for same month previous year, but that would have been during the middle of Civil War II, as well as the second month of Rebirth. So understandable that it's
Holy crap, it's been a year since Rebirth.
Yep.
Holy moly.
But understandable that it is down from that time. Dollar amounts down quite a bit too. Graphic novels down 11% from the same year. But definitely, it's still a good month. September, October, November are going to be very big months because we have, the whole rest of this year. August was Generations, which will definitely have a bump. Metal. The tie-ins start in September for Metal. September is also Legacy, which is going to be... Marvel told us, I don't know what I'm allowed to say, but Marvel told us the estimated sales number for Legacy number 1, which is obviously very big. I won't say it till they say something publicly. But it's a lot. Then the Metal tie-ins start, which obviously we talked about Metal last week. We had our midnight sale. It was ridiculous. We're almost sold out of Metal. I ordered a shit and a half load, and we're almost sold out. A ton more coming.
Shit and a half load.
It is. I ordered a lot. The tie-ins, I've bumped my orders across the board. Huge numbers I was never expecting. Maybe not enough. October is going to be a big bulk of Metal is going to be then, and that's going to be the start of Legacy for Marvel. I put in probably the largest order I've ever ordered with Marvel on my initial order. We'll see when we come to FOC if that stays. October is going to be humongous between DC and Marvel. It's going to be the biggest month of the year, no question asked. November is Doomsday Clock number 1.
Thanks, Marvel. You're welcome, Marvel.
Second month of Legacy. Third month of Metal. I don't think November will be quite as big as October because they don't have quite as many Legacy titles coming out, but November should be huge, and that's just going to wrap into December, which is going to be we're going to have a bigger December, January than we will like May, June, which never happens. So I'm really looking forward to the end of the year. Or I'm going to be living in a box of unsold lenticular Marvel variant covers and unsold Metal tie-ins. We'll see. Or a bin of money, and I'll be swimming in it.
Yeah,
so
okay.
one of the two.
It's got to be coins. You don't want to hop into a thing of like paper.
Yeah, gold coins.
Yeah,
one of the two.
coins.
One of the two. So anyway, good month. Could be better. Looking forward to the rest of the year. What were you asking about? What you were asking? You mentioned some book. Where was X-Men Gold earlier?
Oh, yeah, just because I've been loving X-Men Blue and Gold for separate reasons, but they've both actually been really solid.
So was Gold 7 must have been the Jim Lee cover because it's sitting right now about 5,000 copies, 6,000 copies.
It definitely was the Jim Lee cover.
Yeah, issue 8 sold about 6,000 less. Blue 7 to Blue 8, yeah, it's about 6,000 less. So yeah, that makes sense. 7 must have been the cover. So 53.
Well, Blue has been awful during the Secret Empire tie-ins.
I'm really looking forward to the Gold and Blue crossover, the Mojoverse thing coming up.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm really looking
You
forward to
didn't
that.
hear about that?
When would I have heard about this?
It's the first arc of Legacy. It's going to be a 4 issue 1 month.
Oh, that is awesome!
They're taking
It
a
is
cue
being
out of
made for us.
Yeah, they're taking
You
a
and me
cue out of
specifically.
I appreciate that by them because they are gentlemen and scholars and gentle ladies.
they're taking a cue off
Marvel
of
is better.
DC's kind of the 1 month crossover where it's the 2 double shipping books. So the X-Men, the 4 issues are going to cross over. I think it's
That is so awesome.
So the entire event in 1 month. Yeah, really looking forward to that.
That's great. Yeah, it's been good. The Blue has been, I think, less good but better about bringing classic X-Men story in terms of like what was the last episode or last issue? They fought some Brotherhood of Evil Mutants equivalent of the Secret Empire reality altered universe, and X-Men Gold has just been Gold. It's been good.
Yeah, Gold.
Great, in
Gold
fact.
definitely
You
feels
might
more
call it
of a-
uncanny. Uncannily good, uncannily sexy. Really nice to touch.
The new gold standard.
The new gold standard. That's a dad joke. I can appreciate it. Takes one to know one.
Yes.
You're welcome.
That's the best thing about being a dad. You can make dad jokes.
Oh, I started way before I was a dad.
So let's move on.
Yeah, but everybody just looked at you strange before that. Then
Well,
you're just
that hasn't
you're a dad. So,
Toby, should we save for the Defenders talk to the end? You finished Defenders, Charlie?
I didn't finish it, but I watched the first half of it.
Toby, you want to talk at the end, or do you want to talk now?
No, I don't want to hear him say anything. I've only seen episode 1.
Me too.
It's fucking great.
I'm staring at a large Vision statue that's sitting here at the shop.
Well, let's move on to some other
Okay,
news.
wait. Can
And
I
then-
ask
and then
you, like,
Toby can
your
talk about Defenders.
favorite comic that I just read today? Your favorite comic 2017 was Mr. Miracle #1.
Oh, God, yeah.
I cannot help but think that my expectations were just too high raised for this. Mr. Miracle #1 was a fantastic book, but was it any better than any single
Yeah.
issue of Vision?
Well,
Like, to me, I read
It's
it
the
and it was
next-
it was a great book. It was a great book. It was a great book, but it was chapter 1 of what's probably going to be a great story, just like Vision #1 was.
better than any.
You weren't giving Vision #1 away to everybody.
No, but I didn't,
Foresight fail.
I didn't get a chance to read Vision #1 a month and a half before it was released.
Month and a half.
And I didn't have. Vision #1 could have been a.
Would you say that you didn't have the vision?
Vision #1 could have been a great first issue, and then it fucking collapses into nothing, right? We didn't know then what we know now.
About Tom
right?
King? Yeah.
So,
All right, all
Like,
right.
I also
That's fair,
guarantee
that's
you
fair.
he didn't have the copies to give them away of Vision #1.
yeah.
All right, that's fair. Anyway, I absolutely loved it, and if you haven't read Mr. Miracle #1, go out and read it. It's great. It's, I think, exactly the same as Vision #1 if you were to go back and read that one right now, in terms of asking as many questions. In fact, asking way more questions than it answers, but also, taking this, like, C-level character or B-level character and, doing things with it that you wouldn't have expected in a million years, at least for me. I mean, it's basically DC's version of Vision.
No.
It totally is. You are crazy. You're usually right, and you're wrong
I
now.
could see-
What do you mean?
So
It is a
the
tertiary
Vision
character.
book was a complete and total divergence of the Vision character. Like, Tom King wrote
Yeah,
the direction
Scott
he
Free
went.
slitting his wrist in his bathroom on Earth by himself is really the Mr. Miracle I'm used to. Keep going, Charlie.
It's not necessarily the Mr. Miracle you're used to, but putting himself in a position to perform the ultimate escape is absolutely Mr. Miracle in a nutshell.
I mean, I think they inhabit the same. They inhabit the same kind of world, if you will. These two books, but they are not the same.
But dude, so you believe right now that was his aim, was to?
I absolutely believe that was his aim.
Okay, I don't think. Okay.
He's a man that defies death. He is constantly escaping death traps. He's trying to
I think-
perform
I think that
the
it's-
absolute
right.
escape of death.
That's what he said, but I think that is not actually what his aim was.
No, I mean, in this issue, you're I don't want to get too deep in this. I mean, I don't know what to really spoil here, but
Should we save it?
no. This story, Mr. Miracle, is Scott Free is trying to. I mean, don't miss more. He's basically trying to kill himself, and he sets it up like it's an act. But how do you escape depression? How do you escape suicidal thoughts? These are things that you can't escape the way he wants to. So he's trying to test those boundaries.
I'm not convinced that he was trying to escape death and tried to commit suicide. I think that there's some granny in there. I think that there's some mind control. I think that there's some mental manipulation. I don't think that necessarily that he's slitting his wrists trying to escape death. I think that there's more to it that we're going to find out.
Well, obviously, we have a lot to still go, so we don't know what's going on. Let's move on to something else that I'm sure is going to make you want to slit your wrist.
The point
Bryce.
is, even though, oh God,
Warner Brothers. This came out just hours before we started recording. Warner Brothers,
oh dear,
according to
Tell me
Deadline,
that you didn't sign Jonathan Hickman.
Warner Brothers is according to Deadline in talk with Martin Scorsese
Oh, this is bullshit.
to
Keep
produce,
going. Yeah.
and Todd Phillips, the director of the Hangover movies,
That should be a good one. Keep going,
to
Higgins.
work on a gritty and grounded, hard-boiled crime film set in the early '80s about the origin of the Joker.
I don't know how you got through that whole sentence after saying the
These are
director of The
quotes.
Hangover,
Right,
without like slapping your own face with your palm.
I'm just like, so here's the quote.
Starring Ken Jeong
here's the quote.
You're probably super excited.
and
Zach Galifianakis as the
is-
Joker.
This is going to be a new banner. This is going to be a new line of movies within.
Did
the
you say
DC
comedy
banner.
of movies?
A new line of movies within. I was going to say comics. A new line of movies within the DC banner at Warner Brothers that is quote unquote that will quote unquote expand the canon of DC properties and create unique storylines with the different actors playing the iconic characters. It'll be assumedly outside the DC continuity.
What is the source that they cite here?
I mean, there's Deadline. Deadline's usually pretty on the ball with this stuff. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but it could be something they're in talks for. Now,
Martin Scorsese is going to direct or produce?
produce. Yeah. Now, here's the thing.
Producer or EP?
I mean, just says produce.
Okay.
And
Marty
Phillips,
swears way
Phillips
too
will
much
direct
for a DC movie.
Phillips
though.
will direct and co-write with Scott Silver. So I actually kind of love this idea, but I don't know that I want a Joker origin movie.
Boys.
The idea of having a sort of DC continuity set of movies,
A DC Elseworld set
and then
of movies.
and then right, you have your
Wait,
DCU.
what?
They're basically pitching the idea of a DC Elseworld series of movies.
Yeah. So this is not. This is going to be outside of the DCU,
Oh,
DCEU stuff.
oh, I missed that.
Yeah, so-
even though it's probably exactly what you said.
Yes. So expand the canon of DC properties and create unique storylines with different actors playing the iconic roles, so that you can have your Ben Affleck Justice League Batman.
I thought they were just setting up like Generation 2.
No.
Okay.
This, according to this article,
This clickbait headline.
the idea here is to set up a line of non-canonical with the movie universe DC films, which to me is great if they have that much.
So basically, if anybody has a great idea and wants to take a take on it,
Yeah.
they can do that freely without the constraint of the DC.
Right, so it doesn't
Universe
have to
movies.
involve Jared Leto. It doesn't. And so here's your rumor
Toby.
of Batman,
That was great.
and here's your rumor of Ben Affleck stepping down for Batman. It's like, well, you could do a Batman movie, just not have Ben Affleck in it. They can do Red Sun, or they could do Arkham Asylum, or they could do Long Halloween or Hush, and not have to worry about it connecting to the rest of the universe, which would be awesome.
No,
But it's a lot. I mean,
that is a stretch. That's good. I mean, good luck. That
Okay.
sounds great.
would you not want Marvel to?
Your argument is what I want? Yeah, of course I fucking would want.
Yeah, look at-
Are we living in the real world?
Look at Legion, right? Which I still have. I'm like 2 episodes to still burn through on that. But look at
You
Legion.
finished Legion, right?
I haven't watched Legion.
Oh, what
Do I
the
even
hell?
get the
is-
channel?
Failing me, Bryce.
Oh
Do I
my
even get
god!
that channel? Is it
You're
good?
not
I heard
cable
it's
fan
great.
number one for sure now.
Cable's not in that, you fucker. Is
Here,
it? I mean,
here,
you
I'll
fricker.
make you guys all.
Maybe
very
you
mad.
should watch it.
I'll make you guys all very mad. Legion is a chore and a half to make it through. Legion,
Wait, don't give any spoilers though.
it's real tough. It's visually awesome, but boy, do I not give a fuck about anyone in that show. Toby's giving me the eyeballs. It's real tough.
Yeah,
Real
how's
tough.
Supergirl and Arrow been treating you?
Fantastic.
And fucking the freaking
So you need pretty young people in your shows.
no, I
Good
just
to know.
need-
Good to
I
know.
just need-
Legends of the Multiverse and
Legends
all.
of Tomorrow is great. I just need a
And
plot.
is Black Lightning a show yet? It probably is.
This next year, yeah.
Smallville, like you're caught up on all that shit.
It's just real dull. It's real dull.
You're killing me a little
So,
bit.
you know,
here,
it's
Ryan.
funny. Ryan Higgins is like, oh, you know, I love these DC movies because they're
hypocrite.
like grown up and they're, you know, they do these dark
It's a-
stories.
that
and-
is exactly right. That is
but
crazy.
But then like
That is
Marvel,
crazy.
Netflix, oh, you know, it's too dark. It's not comedical. You know,
Yeah.
I can't watch this
What?
thing.
I see nothing about that.
Oh, you know, but
They're just not
Supergirl is so
good.
great and
It was great.
Oh, like BVS was really good, and Man of Steel was really good.
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm not talking about this shit anymore.
It
Go
is
watch-
crazy
okay,
that
Bryce.
like your whole argument is that at least they're taking a different take. They're taking like an adult gritty take, and it's like Defenders, it's no good.
I didn't say
You
Defenders was
really
shit.
need to watch Legion.
yeah.
Especially
I will-
with
no, I will.
You
No,
should drop everything else and go watch
What
Legion.
channel is it on Netflix?
FX.
Effects.
I don't hecking freaking have.
So here
Marshall
is
will set you up.
here is my problem with what I've seen of Legion. Like I said, I still have 2 episodes to watch.
I think it is visually stunning. I really like the way they show the villain and the whole kind of. But it's just it takes so long for anything to happen, and you could cut out entire episodes and nothing. For like an 8-episode show or 10-episode show, however long it is, nothing happens in most of these episodes.
Are you talking about the back half of Jessica Jones or Luke Cage?
No, I'm talking about
or the entire series of Iron Fist.
I never finished Iron Fist. I don't know. So again,
you could be because
maybe I'll finish this in 6 more months, and I'll burn through those last 2 episodes finally, and then we'll talk about it. Anyway,
when you can fit it in between episodes of Supergirl,
totally. Well, all my shows are coming back. So I mean, the only thing I've watched recently has been Twin Peaks and Game of Thrones.
Oh my God, Game of Thrones.
So the last big thing I want to talk about this week, Solicitation's hit. Finally, it's real. It's here. It's happening. We've seen the covers. And I do have to correct something that I've said previously. Doomsday Clock. Jeff Johns' 12-issue miniseries.
And other miniseries.
About Superman and the Watchmen characters. Finally solicited. Now, here is a mistake. And someone corrected me. When they had Comic-Con this past year, they reported that all the reports went out at the same time, and they were apparently all drawing from the same incorrect source. So, Doomsday Clock will have variant covers, as most people assumed, but there were reports out saying that they didn't.
Oh, interesting.
It's the Dark Matter comics that apparently aren't going to have variant covers. So, people report on the wrong news, it gets passed around, no one corrects it. So, but apparently a site or two did actually correct it. So I was corrected. So yes, I've been saying there weren't going to be any variant covers for Doomsday Clock. There is, which is great.
They're doing lenticular.
There's going to be a lenticular cover, which is going to be a Rorschach cover.
Yeah.
The Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman logos.
I'd be very, very sad if they stopped that.
Me too, Charlie. Variant covers pay the bills, don't they, Higgins?
I just want the lenticular covers to continue with the button crossover.
Can we give them a name
I
that
love
I can
that
actually
shit.
say?
Well, they are. I mean, we have metal.
We should call them the Ryan Reynolds covers.
No.
We have metal, and now we have Oz Effect coming up, which is going to have the lenticular covers, and then Doomsday Clock. So it makes sense that they continue to have it. But this is, we've been waiting for this since Rebirth a year and change ago. So yeah, by the time it finishes up, should be well over 2 years. It should be almost 2.5 years into Rebirth. So very, very excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Not sarcastically, even though I know that my wife accuses me sometimes of sounding sarcastic when I'm not.
Only your wife? We all do.
Especially my wife.
Toby. Do you want to talk about some Defenders? I mean, you can keep it spoiler-free, but Charlie, you've watched the first half.
The first 4, yeah.
And Bryce, me and you have seen the first episode.
I've seen the first episode only.
Did you finish Iron Fist?
Yes, by hook or by crook, I finished Iron Fist. I actually legitimately finished Iron Fist, and it just took 12 years of manual labor.
I finished Iron Fist on Friday.
I feel like rebuilding Kunlun would have been easier than finishing Iron Fist.
Now, some people were like, "Oh, you have to watch Iron Fist." I don't know. I felt like I just walked right into the show and was like, "Yeah, whatever, fine, cool. Iron Fist is fighting some dude. Everything makes sense."
Literally, you could say a sentence that describes the end of Iron Fist, the Iron Fist series, and you'd be caught up for Defenders.
Yeah, but as we go later, all these other Iron Fist characters show up on the show.
Do they?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a hecking spoiler. That is a silly spoiler.
You fuckers are like, "Oh, don't have to fucking watch it."
Excuse me? Watch your language.
I don't care. You can talk all you want about it.
I don't want to hear any spoilers, brother.
Well, spoiler.
And Charlie may not want...
No spoilers.
Yes.
I'm at least 4 episodes in, and I mean...
Is it 8 or 10?
It's 8.
Okay.
Thank
That's
gosh.
What I said.
Thank
half.
gosh. That is
done
incredible.
Half.
Well, let's talk non-spoilers then. What do you guys think? Did you like it? Better than the last couple? Worse? Your favorite?
Oh, good question.
Did it work? Did you
So
like it?
it's not my favorite thus far, but it does definitely work. Like it works as a... I was talking to somebody at work earlier about this. It kind of works as a 0.5 episode to like all the shows for me. Like, 0.5 season to all the shows for me. Like it feels like it's a natural continuation to Luke Cage and Iron Fist and Daredevil.
Totally
and
agree.
Jessica Jones. And that's part of what I really like about it is it just feels like it's a big sort of 0.5 season crossover.
Yeah. Okay. I want to hear more about what Charlie says, but I can't help but interrupt, which everybody I cannot believe would be surprised about. Episode 1 was really, I thought, very enjoyable. The villain, I get slightly annoyed when villains of this caliber or quality sort of show up, and it's like, oh, well, where the heck were you this whole time? Apparently you're more powerful than anybody.
Without spoiling anything, you get a lot of good explanations.
Oh, really? Okay.
Following
That's,
episodes.
No, that's very cool then. Okay.
Toby, we have a question here from Jillian Titus,
good
which
talk. All
hopefully you can answer.
No pants?
Yeah, no pants.
No pants!
Because you did finish Netflix, or Netflix, Jesus, you did finish.
You finished Netflix. Achievement unlocked. Well done. Well done,
Play
Tobias.
I
Tobias
finished all of
Sidler.
Netflix.
Oh, the
Oh,
rare platinum
yeah.
trophy.
It's not that much these days. He says,
no,
on a
it's a
scale of
lot.
1 to 10, how stupid is Danny Rand in the Netflix shows? 1, a brain dead monkey. 10, Donald Trump on PCP. And actually, I don't know. That
Wait,
last one's...
I don't understand the scale.
How
They seem
stupid.
to be both bad.
How stupid is Danny Rand in this show? Like, do you feel like does he get better throughout this?
like tiny bit, because he got Luke Cage yelling at him.
Yeah.
Okay, without having seen any of Defenders, I'm definitely saying staring into the solar eclipse, Donald Trump is where he is.
See, because I actually didn't hate Danny Rand on the show. I just thought the show was
Wait, in Iron Fist?
I just thought it was incredibly dull. Like I don't mind the actor at all.
he was a buffoon. He was a naive idiot, and like
Again, I only got like 5 episodes.
No. You already knew it by then. But there is no excuse for how idiotic he was. His father is like a multi-millionaire business genius. Like, some things carry through genetics, including intelligence. Not every time, but sometimes, and I believe most of the time. And so he's got to have the capacity to not be just a huge idiot, especially if he had classical education for the a number of years before he got lost in that crazy plane accident. Like, he is an unfortunate gentleman in terms of intelligence. I'm trying very hard not to swear. And that show was just awful in terms of lack of martial arts ability, lack of martial arts focus.
What?
Him being just a giant IDIOT kids. I don't know. It was terrible.
So
he's the worst.
I completely agree that I was not happy with the portrayal of Danny Rand in the Iron Fist show. Like, even his sort of action and fighting didn't, but he's gotten much better by Defenders. Like, I'm not saying he's great
dude,
yet, but like in Defenders, he is so much better than he used to be.
Okay,
Still bad, but he's a lot better.
Don't mind if I interrupt you. Episode 1 of Defenders, he's already better than the whole season of Iron Fist.
He was pretty fucking
But
horrible.
I have to believe that was because they were like, what the frick are you guys thinking?
It's just the showrunner and director and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they just gave him nothing to work with in that first show.
It's
Well,
crazy
but,
that,
I mean-
there weren't more people to be like, yeah, I just watched your show and there's no martial arts. So can we go back and redo some of that?
Having better action and martial arts in Daredevil by far is just beyond crazy to me, that you would have a Iron Fist show that has
his only thing is martial arts.
Yeah.
Like, Daredevil has a bunch of other things going for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, Iron Fist, huge miss. Iron Fist does a bunch more martial arts and ash
And looks much
shenanigery.
better doing it in Defenders.
Exactly. And I've only seen episode 1, so I can say that it's good. But man, Danny Rand is the smartest brick in a pile of bricks, man.
So, Toby,
Yes.
by the end, how you feeling?
It's all right.
Yeah. Where does it rank on your full list?
My full list of Netflix shows?
Yeah.
Can I say my opinions first?
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 being DC Comics and 10 being Marvel Comics, where does it rank?
In the middle.
So it's a Gabrielle Anwar scale then. Throwback.
Look, I
Do you want to explain that joke?
No.
Because when you...
Just gonna leave it there.
So, like, your 3 biggest fanboys will get it, and they'll think it's hilarious,
Yep.
and nobody else will get it?
Yep.
Okay.
look at his glowing smile right now.
That's hilarious.
Bringing it back, babies.
It sounds hilarious.
There's a lot of things I like about the show. Well, the Defenders one, and there's some stuff I thought were wasted, and I don't want to go too much into spoilery territory, but
Okay, but
There's so much potential that I felt like got really wasted in this show.
Okay, but other than wasted potential, which we can argue for days
Yeah.
about what Marvel's doing with Netflix, like wasted potential is a whole can of worms.
Here's
what did you like about the show as it exists?
I love the characters. And
Do you love their characters in the comics, or do you love their characters on the TV show?
My
like
exact
them both.
question.
Okay.
I really like them both. I think Ritter is an excellent Jessica.
Because I think even Iron Fist, I don't hate. I think they're
I don't
all
mind.
good.
Look, I've said my piece about Iron Fist, right? I said my complaints. I said my complaints about the first show. I don't mind him because I felt like they casted him to be with Luke Cage. I feel like the two of them rub off each other really well. That was the wrong word.
Is it?
The two of them vibe off each other the right way, I feel like. So I feel like he got casted for future things. So I almost wouldn't mind that Heroes for Hire sequel as opposed to a Luke Cage season 2 and a Iron Fist season 2.
Oh my
I
god,
think that would be so much better.
Yeah.
so much better.
So I really do think
They've gotta know
they got really good chemistry between each other. I feel like.
Well, remember when they filmed Defenders, Iron Fist wasn't even out yet, right? So it's not like there's any reaction in Defenders to a poor reaction to Iron Fist.
Wait, Defenders was filmed prior to
I
Iron
don't think
Fist?
so.
I think they started filming round about the same time.
I mean, Iron Fist just came out. I mean, Iron Fist hasn't been out for that long.
Didn't Iron Fist come out
6
8
months
months
ago.
6 months
It's
ago?
every 6 months.
Yeah, they're already filming Jessica Jones, Punisher, and Punisher is done. I think already. Like it doesn't take them like a month to film this stuff. They shoot for months and have to do.
So, like when
Post-production work
Jessica
and everything?
Jones wrapped up, the actor of Luke Cage immediately went to go film. So they only get a break as long as they're not in shows back to back.
Because
Yeah.
I want to say they're filming Daredevil 3 right now.
Yeah, so however Iron Fist is in Defenders is just the natural progression of the character, not any sort of reaction to.
Wait a minute. So when
But
does
as you said, it is a completely different showrunner.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Director.
when do they have to stop though with Marvel's
Nobody knows.
dissemination of
Hopefully
the
never.
Netflix Marvel universe?
The talk is they're still going to be able to do Star Wars and Marvel, but nothing's official.
There's rumors
yet.
about
I'm sorry.
that.
Did you say
Yeah.
Star Wars?
And Marvel, yeah.
Got it.
Technically, right now they have Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney, but the Disney stuff is supposed to leave in 2019. We don't know about Marvel and Star Wars. I assume they're going, but nothing's official yet.
Okay.
Okay. Well, all right. Here we go. I actually really curious what you think, Ryan, because this is a direct sequel to the second half of Daredevil season 2 and Iron Fist season 1. It's literally all the hand stuff continuing on into. So I have a feeling you might hate all of this shit. So I honestly I didn't mind it. And I actually like this kind of stuff. I wish there was a little more to it. When it's all said and done, after watching the whole Defenders, I wish there was a little more to it. Again, I think there was a lot of wasted potential in some really key characters in this show, which I don't want to say who it is right now. And also, my main complaint on every show so far has been that there's just too much talking, which is to mask, in my mind, the amounts of episodes they have to fill. So there's just enough. Even though this is 8 episodes, I feel like this is the case in this as well.
Should have been a movie.
Probably no, but here's what I think. Here's what I think. I felt like every show before should have been 8 episodes as opposed to 12 or 13.
Yes, exactly.
However, the first 4, 5, 6 episodes in this show should have been like the second or the epilogue on the end of the other shows. Like, I felt like they took far too long to get together. It felt like separate shows until episode 4 where they actually got together.
Oh, spoiler alert.
So I felt...
Oh, you're watching Defenders and you don't think they're ever going to get together?
No,
Damn
I
it.
do, but like at the end of episode 1, I was like, oh, they're almost together because they're at the end of episode 1. There's that like unifying event, and I'm like, okay, well,
Not a unifying
they've
event,
got to be together by episode 2.
I do like the way they got together, but I felt like those individual paths should have been maybe like the last 4 or 3 episodes of their individual shows, leading up to like the beginning of Defenders, basically. I mean, this is what I personally would have liked.
Yeah, as
but
the king of nitpicks, that sounds like a fucking freaking incredible nitpick.
sure.
So I do think it should not have been a movie, but like a 4-episode miniseries would have been probably a really good way to do it.
You guys are crazy. So these shows had legitimately
With the same amount of budget. Let me correct that, though. I don't want less episode with lesser budget. I want the same amount of budget and then maybe less episodes.
You know, they
don't get as much play that way, though. They operate on like a subscription model, and if they only have 4 episodes, people just don't subscribe that next month.
Without all the talking, I'll probably watch these things like hundreds of times.
Well, you know, I love Arrow and Flash and stuff, but I do kind of space out when they have their talk of the week that takes up half the episode every week. Because it is like, you know, when you have 22 episodes to fill, there's a lot of talking between plots. So, again, I feel like they either should have done shorter seasons or 2 story arcs. Like they tried that with Luke Cage, but it didn't work.
There's no reason that they would have, as what was it, 10 or 12 for Luke Cage and all those other.
I feel like the Netflix shows really
13.
rely on their villains. Like if the villains are strong, the show is strong.
Yeah, and we've only had
and I feel like
1.5 good villains.
Well,
so
I
far.
think Kingpin was freaking awesome.
You're sowing his jock. He's a half good villain. He's not a full good villain.
In season 2, he's amazing. In season 1,
who? Kingpin?
Yeah.
No, I thought he was amazing in the
is
first
that who
one.
you meant?
Yeah.
I thought you meant David Tennant.
No, Tennant's the best by far, no question, not even close.
No, that's wrong.
10 times more than all the villains combined.
You think? Oh my freaking goodness!
I will respectfully disagree.
Wow, that is just wrong.
But no, I mean, I love Cottonmouth. I thought he was phenomenal, and I felt like the show went a different direction
Rest
when
in
they
peace.
went to another guy.
That's one way.
Diamondback.
Spoiler alert.
Like you're so negative about this shit, Ryan.
Me? The Diamondback stuff was terrible.
Wait,
Terrible.
what?
It was bad, but it wasn't terrible.
Wait, what are you talking
The back
about?
half of Luke Cage?
Oh,
Diamondback.
back half?
Yes. Real bad.
wait, I think you said Cottonmouth.
Cottonmouth was awesome.
Oh, I thought we were arguing about Cottonmouth.
No, but my
was great.
argument is the show kind of relies on the villains being good, and when the villains is not good, the show kind of goes in a different way.
Exactly like the Marvel Cinematic movies. Same thing. The ones that have the shitty villains are bad movies. The ones that have the great villains are great movies.
What about Eric the Red being the best villain, or at least in the top 20 of the X-Men animated series?
You just watch them because the X-Men cartoon's on behind you.
It's literally on behind me. I don't have eyes in the back of my head.
It's right
But
over there,
it's
too.
over there too.
Yeah. F you guys. Look, the point is that Netflix is killing it and doing a great job.
I love these shows. I'm more excited for Defenders than I am for the next Avengers. I mean, I'm this much.
What?
Oh yeah, I love these characters. I love
No, you're crazy.
No, I'm absolutely these are the characters I fucking love, man. I mean, me and Ryan talk all the time about it. Fucking Metal, all this fucking mumbo jumbo about space. Fuck all that shit. Give me the street stuff any day.
Higgins will
this is the stuff I like.
Higgins will agree with you anytime you throw shade at Marvel in any capacity. Look, the point is that there should have never been, was it 10 or 12 episode long, like Luke Cage?
13.
OMFG. That's not a swear word. Like, they should never have been that long. But there's no way, if you get all those characters together, I mean, look at Game of Thrones. Like, you get all these, like, A-list for cable, if that's even an air quotes thing, into one show. You can't do 12 episodes of like good writing. Are you kidding me?
I know the writing.
And they don't even ask for 12 episodes. They're asking for 8 episodes.
No,
you can't write 8 good
don't get me
episodes
wrong.
and like you have all these like great characters.
Listen, the writing is actually really good. I'm just saying they're using the good writing to mask that they don't have enough content for all these episodes.
Dude, that is so lazy.
It's not lazy. It's the way to spread your episodes.
No, there's so much good content.
All right, let me tell you the things I like.
Those characters, and they didn't do it properly, and that's fine because every show will have missteps.
Let me tell you some happy,
like any DC movie, but like they can't do it every time for Marvel shows.
So for me,
you liked it all.
What it actually kind of comes down to is I really like watching the Netflix Marvel shows, but I also don't get except for Jessica Jones, I haven't really gotten that itch. Like, I really need to watch that again.
So you're saying that you don't have the Jones for it?
I do.
Well, I said except for Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones, I want to go back and watch again.
I do have that.
Did you misunderstand or ignore my dad?
I do have that rage for the Punisher stuff in Daredevil season 2.
And I'm very excited for that.
Just sort of my point is, I'm the kind of person that sits down and watches episodes of Doctor Who, like, 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what Bryce is arguing about here because
I'm not sure.
It feels like we're all on the same page. We like this stuff, but we wish it was better.
Yeah, but it's not bad either.
No,
I think
it's
we're all on
very
the same
enjoyable.
page
It's
here.
very
Well, you call it
watchable.
horrible. This is where we argue with you. But
There are bad parts to it, but I'm down for everything. Iron Fist was the only one where I was just like, I can't do this. But
there's some happy accidents.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
all right, let's move on to the next question here. Let's see. I had it here. Well, it's from Tom. Yeah, I don't think you actually answered my question earlier. It's perfect. It's from Tom on Twitter. He says, also for Bryce, how amazing is Astonishing X-Men? Did you say how amazing it is?
Oh my gosh. I would say that
Is it astonishing?
frankly, it's uncanny.
Frank Quietly? What?
It is
Quite frankly, it's
amazing.
uncanny?
It is spectacular. It's incredible. It's totally awesome. It's invincible, and it's certainly
Is it all new, all different?
all new and all different.
Is it unbeatable? Is it despicable?
It's not despicable. It's unbeatable, yes. Yeah, no, Astonishing X-Men was really good. It's I'm not sure that it should be like a headlining X-Men title. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be. But dude, it was really, really good. So my top 3 X books right now are Uncanny X-Men, or I'm sorry, X-Men Gold. Joke or not a joke. And then Astonishing X-Men, and then X-Men Blue. Old Man
Yeah.
Old Man. Oh, Charlie agrees with me. Therefore, I'm right. You're welcome. Old Man Logan is probably number 2 on that list. If I had to slot it in the X books, because it's apples to oranges a little bit. At the lowest, it's number 3. Old Man Logan has been just so incredible. Iceman's at the bottom. Jean Grey is second to bottom. What other X books am I forgetting? But anyway. Yeah, Astonishing X-Men is the X book that we didn't need, but that we deserve. Who doesn't love Phantom X? Ryan Higgins is the only one raising his hand. Everybody else loves Phantom
love
X.
What are you talking about? I am the biggest Phantom X fan here.
F you and GTFO, and you are being a silly
I
mother
did like
sillier.
one of those online quizzes, and I am Phantom X, bitch.
He came out during the Grant Morrison run. Of course, I like him more
in
than
this
you guys.
book I'm buying today.
Phantom X?
Yes.
Not sure that's
Wait.
Not sure that's
Phantom
true. That's the Batman and the Outsiders book from the 80s.
Wait, I'm mixing him up with this other
Batman.
character.
That's Batman.
No, I'm talking about this character.
Toby, if you're arguing that Batman is awesome, I agree with you. Batman is awesome.
No, I'm mixed up Phantom X with this other character. I'm sorry.
Well, in other news, Batman is awesome, but
Wait, you like Phantom X?
I love Phantom X.
Anyway, if
He was created by Grant Morrison. Of course I like
Phantom
him.
X literally
What?
is if you're looking for like
What's
hypocritical
this guy?
Ryan Higgins,
I mix him up with this guy.
Phantom Stranger?
That's what I was thinking up. I did this stupid quiz on DC, and they
You'll
said
also
I'm like
find-
Phantom Stranger.
I also love Phantom Stranger.
Yeah.
So
you'll find
and he is in this book. I wasn't lying.
You were not lying. Good job. Anyway, so Astonishing X-Men has been really good. I've not read issue 2 yet, but yeah, issue 1 was great, and I am a big shipper of Gambit and Rogue and Phantom X and Psylocke. Angel can go, tittle himself in the corner because I'm not swearing this episode, or trying not to, which I've already failed. Anyway, yeah, it's been astonishing. It's been really good.
I'm gonna hit a few of these up real quick. I got some quick answers to a few of these because we got a ton of questions today, way more than we have time to answer. But I will answer a few of these.
Challenge accepted. Bring it on.
Seymour Butts on Twitter.
Seymour Butts.
I know that reference.
Toby.
Does using the peeling of digital codes from the comics hurt the future value of the books? No.
No.
The only time they do, CGC has decided that they will be graded no higher than a 9.8.
What?
Yeah, if you take out the digital code inside, the book will be graded a 9.8. I believe that is still current. I thought at one point they
So it could
didn't
be a
affect it.
perfect book, but if you use the digital code,
No, that's
you're
what he's
fucked.
saying.
Yeah.
Is that if it's a perfect book, but you shed the digital code, it's a 9.8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not if you cache in the code, it's the act of removing the sticker to
Yeah.
get to the digital code.
Now, I believe that is
Yeah.
still the case. I could be wrong, but I believe that is still the case. I actually thought that it did not affect it at all, and it could get a 9.9 or a 10, but apparently not. But
Listen,
for
listen,
raw
listen.
copies on the wall at your local comic store, no, removing the digital code does not affect
No,
the
listen,
price.
Seymour, you obviously have
Mr. Butts to you.
you obviously have a situation in your life where you're seeing more butts. In which case, it is silly for you to wonder, "Oh, my book is 9.8.
So,
my book is 10.0."
M on Twitter
Oh, okay.
says, how did delays on books affect...
How did the what?
How did delays on
Oh.
books affect the attachment longevity? Do you find people jump off books if releases are too far in between? Yes.
Yeah, well, you lose track of them.
The short answer is yes.
Let me give you the longer answer, which is the Bryce short answer, which is to say that
I
if
have
it's
seen-
a Marvel book that's been delayed, Higgins will throw fire and earth under the water, which makes it
Okay,
worse.
I don't want a 3-hour podcast. I have
Yes,
seen
you
actually, although I thought it was a
Would it be
great
so bad?
idea, when Image started taking their breaks between releasing the comics and the trades, I've seen a drastic drop off in our single issue sales on Image titles when they come back. Because I think, people just forget that they're there.
You mean like how Saga does it, and I assume you mean like every other Image book?
Yeah.
Like, why do they do that?
I mean, the thought
summer
process
vacation?
was, catch
no,
up.
but they do it every 4 issues,
But like
if
Walking
not
Dead
every
doesn't.
6.
No, I mean, no, it's in between every trade. So they do 6 issues, 5 to 6 issues. They take,
But then they
break,
take a couple months off.
release the trade paperback for those issues, and then come right back. And I have found that it does actually hurt sales.
It seems crazy to me.
Yeah.
If you're hustling and your comic is selling well, what are you doing taking time off?
Yes. Alter Ego says, what do you think about the
Refresh your
rebrand?
batteries.
Charlie.
I am somewhat curious, though, if you feel that it affects the eventual like trade sales and that kind of stuff. Because
Well, doesn't
my
one hand
example,
feed the other?
well,
That's an expression.
so
You're welcome.
my thing with like Planetary, with how long there was a delay
Oh.
between issues, I'm still going to go there.
But that's such an...
It was such an extreme thing that so many people didn't even realize when it started up again.
Yeah.
But
Well-
I wouldn't say that hurt any of like the trade sales. If anything, that
Well, trade
strengthened
sales
them.
in general, unless you're Saga, you sell 10 copies of the first trade, 3 copies of the second trade, and 1 copy of the third trade, and then none of the fourth. Like, that's just how all trade sales are. So, yeah, I mean, it does, but not directly.
unless you're Saga.
Yeah, unless you're
Got
Saga.
it. Yeah, I believe that.
Alter Ego says, what do you think about the Rebirth trades? Are they selling well? Yes. Are people coming back for more? Kinda. The volume 1s of all the Rebirth books sold crazy, and, like I just said, less so 1, 2, and 3.
So-
or 2. I guess none of the 3s are out yet.
I have a question I just now read on Twitter. When are they going to reboot their universe again?
Who's that?
DC.
I mean, never. Well, I should say never. No time soon.
Okay.
Why would they?
Well, you just said that, it's an exponential curve, and it's reaching its critical not high.
Well, DC's been pretty stable. They've dropped a little bit here and there, but they have all the new comics. I mean, I'm not talking specifically sales of independent comics suffer that drop pretty dramatically. Marvel and DC don't rely on the trade sales because most of their sales are going to come from the single issues. And comic single issue sales drop just like, I guess, kind of like trade sales, where number 1 sells a ton and number 2 sells half that and number 3 sells a quarter of that, right? So you see it in single issues immediate. The trades are just sort of bonus. But the trades for a lot of indie comics is a big chunk of their income.
Got it.
So, volume 5, 6, 7, 8, unless you're Walking Dead or Saga, don't quite sell the same.
Okay. So I have a more macro question. DC is eventually, theoretically, going to, exponentially curve out. They fixed it in a big way with the New 52, and then they did it again with Rebirth to sort of like, oh, no, we didn't really mean it. And then Rebirth everything.
Well, they had...
What do they do? Because you can't tell me that this curve doesn't exist in comics.
Oh, it does. No, what happened with New 52 was the sales were so strong for that first, year to 16 months or so, and then it just dropped harsh. They tried to course correct with the DCU, YOU, and it fell even worse. So they said, fuck this, we have to come back to kind of bring back to what we were doing. And they took the criticism of New 52, they took what worked and they came up with Rebirth. I can't say they're never going to do a major event that's going to shake everything back up again or relaunch everything to new number ones. I would hope it's no time soon. But they'd done it prior to, most of the books had been relaunched in some fashion even prior to New 52. A lot of the books, Wonder Woman, Flash, a lot of the titles had already been restarted. So it isn't like it was the first time they had done that. But I do hope it is. And I have to believe that Marvel is going to follow suit and not renumber their books immediately after renumbering them again, the way they have in previous years, because Marvel saw those sales. It was great the first time and a little less the second time and less the third time and even less the fourth time. So, we'll give Marvel the benefit of the doubt this time.
But
People gave DC the benefit of the doubt for Rebirth.
But why would you give Marvel the benefit of the doubt? Why? There's nothing that they've done that would lead you to give them the benefit of the doubt.
People didn't last time. That's the problem. The hope is
right. The
legacy.
Hope, that's your strategy. What are they saying, Glenn Ross? Hope is not a strategy, motherfucker. I'm Alec Baldwin. Here's 2 gold balls.
And what happened to not swearing?
Oh, I was quoting.
It's a quote. It's fine.
Oh, well, that's fine.
It wasn't me saying it.
But no, right. There is a lot of fear right now for Legacy, because Legacy, I don't think, has the pitch that Rebirth had. But there was a lot of concern about Rebirth, too. When the one-shot came out, I think that kind of...
Have you read the one-shot?
Legacy?
Yeah.
No one's going to see it until it comes up. What helped DC, I think, is they really came out and said, we made a mistake. They were very upfront about it. Marvel's been...
very upfront.
They were, yes.
Several years later, we made a mistake. You're talking about their mistake versus the New 52?
A couple of years in New 52 when they launched DCU. They came went within a year when they did Rebirth. They came out and they said that was a mistake. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Marvel is not the type of company.
Rebirth. Or did you mean when they announced Rebirth, they admitted that was a mistake?
Yeah, when they announced Rebirth, they said, "Look, we know we got far off from our main characters. Yeah. We want to do this." Marvel has sort of said, "Hey, we like all our characters. We want to bring them back." And Marvel hasn't quite been but Marvel never is. They're never.
Look, Marvel has a bigger dick than DC. Sorry, not sorry.
No, you're right. Marvel, their sales are hurting, but their sales are still really good.
If you really go down to it, actually, do not. DC has a bigger dick because Marvel has the storylines are more human. They're actually never mind. I don't know where I'm going.
So,
are you drunk? That's a lie. But I think wrong and a lie.
But there is hope that Marvel gets it right with Legacy, and we'll see.
Look, dude, you will not find a gentleman so well dressed and so behind Marvel at this table. I don't see them like Marvel or DC. They are going to do whatever it takes to sell more books.
Oh, of course.
And if it involves revamping the entire universe 1 month from now,
well, with DC,
you can't not get behind that, no matter what comic company it is, if it means more sales for you.
So
as
we're
ridiculous as it may be.
So we're going to be about close to 18 months in on Rebirth, and what's happening at this point is a couple books are going to end. The writing's on the wall. A couple books are going to end, no question asked. A couple books have dropped off their monthly schedule, or their bi-monthly schedule, or bi-weekly schedule, I should say. So they're dropping to once a month. The number of new titles DC has launched over the last 2 months in previews is pretty staggering. Because what's happened is they said we got ourselves back to where we want to be with Rebirth. There's the quality. There's the sales that we want. It may not be as big as Marvel's, but it's the sales that they are comfortable with. And now we're getting the new titles. We're getting a bunch of new miniseries. We're getting Metal. So we kind of have Metal offsets these little guys. But we have new stuff coming out like Mystic U and a few other titles that are coming that are off the beaten path. But they're titles they believe in. And because your core is there, you can experiment with all this stuff. The hope with Legacy is your core is there. Hulk will be back. Wolverine will be back. Cap will be back. And then you can keep your lower tier characters around and see what you can do with them, introduce some new concepts. They're both basically doing the same thing. It's just, DC's a year ahead of Marvel at this point. So, or Marvel maybe kind of did it inverted. Like they're But yeah, if suddenly sales tank for both companies next year, then it's back to the drawing board, and let's see what we can do. DC's approach recently, Dan Didio was talking about how he wants more like perennial sellers. He wants more single story.
Yeah. So don't we all salespeople?
Well,
Didio.
Well,
yeah.
but obviously for a comic company, your goal is monthly, ongoing, long-term sales. But they but
any sales job ever,
right? But they want those perennial titles. They want another Hush. They want another Dark Knight. They want another All-Star Superman.
Yeah.
So the push is we have our ongoing titles, which give us this income, and then we were trying to get another one of these perennial. But those are hard to hit. Those don't happen, every week.
I feel like if you want them to be like that, they don't happen.
Then they're not, right?
Yeah. You just let the
that's
writers do
exactly what happened with Wolverines, or what was that Jeff Loeb Hulk thing where they made all of them Hulks, all of the Marvel superheroes Hulks, or like Edge of the Venomverse where they're all Hulks.
No, I mean what they want is more standalone trade stories that will continuously sell forever.
Well, they want the Disney model. They want to be able to sell it forever, right?
No,
which is fine. I understand that. But
the thing is, these stories are easier to adapt to an animated movie. They're easier to adapt to a movie.
Sure. But I feel like they come naturally when you just let the writers do whatever they want to do.
Right. Because it's not like DC went to Morrison. I don't think DC went to Grant Morrison and said, write the greatest Superman comic of the last 50 years. They basically said, or ever really, they said, do what you're going to do. It's part of this line. You're free to kind of go on your own. And that's when All-Star Superman comes out. So if Marvel and DC turn to their creators...
But it could go both ways because you got also Batman and then you know how that went. We've
had lots of graphic novels from DC that okay, well, sure. Remember in the mid-2000s and early 2000s, they released dozens and dozens of original graphic novels and almost none of them sold long-term, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway... Steven asks, I've read Johns' Flash Rebirth, Flashpoint, and the current Flash run, New 52 through Rebirth. What are some other good Eobard, Thawne, Reverse Flash stories? Well, Steven, you have to read. They've been released in trade paperback.
The Mark Waid run?
The Mark Waid run.
Whose run?
Mark Waid.
I said that correctly. Fuck you.
Which has one of the best, if not the best...
I just lost my ability.
Reverse Flash storyline. Spoiler. It's called The Return of Barry Allen. It's a great story. You should read that.
That is a spoiler.
It is a spoiler, but it's fine.
The spoiler is
20
right
years
in
old.
the title.
Yeah.
I was going to say, it's very hard to avoid a spoiler.
When you're going on Amazon searching The Return of Barry Allen.
Let me wonder what happened to this story.
So the best Reverse Flash story is the one where Barry Allen comes back and then does it for 20 years.
Oh, it feels bad.
It's a really good story. I actually did not mean for that to come out the way it did, and that's totally a spoiler. But you know what? It's a really good story, so read it anyway. Just pretend you didn't hear anything we said.
Well, I was about to say, he just said he read Flash Rebirth, so
he knows.
You can figure that out.
Spoiler, like any comic character is going to come back. It's just a matter of time.
Well, that's not what I mean. This was a comic story called The Return of Barry Allen in 1994. Or 1993. Barry Allen not returned to comics till 2011, 2010. This is about the Reverse Flash.
Yep. I'm with you. Sounds good.
A villain with the same powers as the Flash.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about.
Do you see where the story's going?
Stop talking!
I think Bryce is very confused.
I got distracted by my watching your boring story.
That's literally it. Okay, that was the last question.
I thought you said we had fucking ton.
Yeah, we did. I skipped some of them.
He saw your face. And
then
I was
he
oh look,
reading my watch instead of his story, and I was
he just went until he could just break you a little bit, and then he's like, okay, now.
No, he kept talking, and I got a notification on my watch, and I was like, this is more interesting. And he kept talking, and I was like, all right, well, what were you talking about?
Anyway, that's it. Thank you guys for this wonderful podcast.
Thank you. This was a wonderful podcast.
It was.
With almost no hiccups in a beautiful new store here in Sunnyvale, California.
Not a whole lot of swearing.
With minimal swearing probably than any other episode.
From you.
That's true. Tobias, you were culpable many times.
No.
Equal times.
No.
It's okay.
You will agree that there were many sides swearing.
No. It was a lot less.
Well, many sides were swearing.
Well, fuck off.
Well, that's rude.
Well, let's thank our good friends. From Patreon, Julian Titus.
No
That's the
pants.
Nerds Without Pants podcast at pixelbit.com.
He has never no pants. Wait, that's double negative. Never mind. He has no pants once.
Now say it again. I love
Ryan
it.
Hess has Blowhards. It's a video game podcast. It's at blowhards.libsyn.com. You should check
I'm
that
not
out.
so sure about that title.
Yeah, no, it's totally intentional. Trust me, guys. It's all right. It's good.
I know what he's referring to.
I didn't ask if it was intentional. I asked if that's new.
Yeah.
Got it.
Newish, yeah. 10,
Well,
12 episodes
He
maybe?
rebrands himself every couple of years.
Yeah.
I was going to say, is that his long delayed...
He's kind of like the Doctor Who of podcasts. Every couple of years, he's something
Start
new.
over.
Is that his long delayed pawn shop
No.
podcast?
No, it's a video game podcast.
Oh, he's waiting for that to go in his memoir.
Jody Lawson has Canon, the Triad Comics anthology at triadcomicsstudio.com. Mario Miranda, who's one of our newer high-tier backers, wanted to make sure he gets a special shout-out. He has friends down in the greater Los Angeles area with a game shop, a tea shop, and a cat rescue.
What the fuck?
It's called Geeky Teas and Games. It's at 2120 West Magnolia in Burbank. I probably actually
Wait,
know exactly
Burbank?
where that is.
Burbank?
I love
Yeah.
Burbank.
I have great friends in Burbank.
Yeah, I mean,
one
I have great friends at Burbank. You know, Jeff Johns. You know.
Oh, yeah, those friends.
yeah.
No, wait. Is this a cat shop?
It's a
I will send my friend Becky over.
game shop, tea shop, and cat rescue.
Oh, a cat rescue.
Yeah, it's called Geeky
Can he play
Teas.
with the kittens?
Maybe it's called Geeky Teas and Games.
Can I roll around on the ground
I
with cats?
maybe I can't stop you.
You do normally.
Yeah, dude. Just ask Charlie want to go to his house and roll around with his doggies.
They have a
I
game
was
room
about to
and
say
they
I
have
have no cats.
Yeah.
they have a game room and they have themed events every week. So if you are down in sunny Burbank, California,
When they have
fly
a settlers
into
night.
John Wayne International.
John Wayne is legit great.
It's like the smallest airport in the world.
It is.
And I love it because it takes like 4 seconds to get
Yeah.
out of
It's
the
the-
terminal.
Because you hate people.
It's
Yeah.
the SoCal equivalent of Oakland Airport. It's great.
I've never flown to Oakland, in or out of Oakland.
Oakland is like this hidden gem because you
Yeah.
would think that it's like attached to a major city, that it's
Yeah,
a
it's
nightmare,
tiny.
but it's
It's
actually
on Alameda.
It's way better than San Jose.
It's right next to Alameda.
San
So
Jose's
small.
pretty big.
Shocking.
comparatively. Yeah.
I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Shockingly big.
Well, San Jose does a lot of international, like Asian flights, so I think their international terminals.
Well, there's a lot
Bigger
of
than a
Asian
lot.
people here, Ryan Higgins.
I know.
yeah, one or two in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
We also have to thank our good friends Manoa Place, Sam, Che, Talon Bray, Craig Anderson, and Joe Duff. Lots of great high-tier backers. Patreon.com/comicconspiracy, where you can go to kick us a buck or two if you want.
Yay.
So thank
Charlie
you guys.
loves everything.
And don't forget, comicconspiracypodcast.com, geekbox.net, and iTunes. Rate and review us.
Well, all those fine Patreon backers get Charlie's time with cable.
Yes.
So-
Yes, they do.
Which Bryce Larsen does
Well,
not have an episode with.
You know, you could also spend an hour with a dollar hooker. It'd probably get better value for your money.
Oh.
All Patreon backers go to patreon.com/comicconspiracy. Charlie Time, episode 1, with cable. is up
Charlie
right now.
time. That's what you called it.
Charlie Time.
God, you're such a troll. You're the number 2 cable fan on this podcast.
It's a bigger troll once you listen to his theme song.
What?
Just listen to
Digital.comicsconspiracy.biz.
this theme song. Just trust me on this one. Please do it.
That
Please
is where
do
you
it.
can go to
What
buy
is it?
some
What is-
digital
It's
comics.
gold. I picked it for him.
You can
What
buy
did you
all
pick
your
for him?
all your popular cable comics that all the kids love these days
Yeah.
at digital.comicsconspiracy.biz.
Wait, what did you pick for him?
The theme song.
Why do you pause?
Conspirator
Because I'm
Brock.
watching your fucking face.
ConspiratorBrock.com. That's Brock's blog and video pull list. You should be back next week. Wanderers in the Fourth Dimension podcast. That's Charlie's Doctor Who podcast.
Are you still doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Etsy.com
He's got
/shop
2 years of content for that.
/Leanne Hill Art. That is Bryce Larson's girlfriend's Etsy store.
Work girlfriend. Work girlfriend.
Work girlfriend. Okay. That
You
is
know,
my
I used that term on to my coworkers, and they got so mad at me. I was like, I meant it as a joke.
You know,
See,
the,
so
the
we're-
key is you're supposed to not sexually harass them.
We're
No.
sitting here, and I'm texting Bryce. I'm like, dude, ETA, what is going on? He's like, I'm in the parking lot talking to your wife. I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening? Like, what? Where are you?
I got here half an hour early, and
Oh, so you guys talking about Zelda again? Like,
No,
what is up?
I also did talk to her about Zelda, but I was also wondering. I was just checking Facebook Facebook before I came in just for 2 seconds, and I saw some major spoiler on Game of Thrones that I won't say in front of Charlie because he hasn't watched it yet. But the last,
At this point, he already
episode,
knows.
Well, because we talked about it after I got in, because Higgins was like, "What the frick were you talking with my with your work girlfriend about?"
Ryan Higgins, Ryan, that's me on Twitter. Brock is Brock Zager. Bryce is Larsen Bryce. Toby is Toby XI. Charlie's Insanity and Chaos. The store is Comics Gone Store. Bryce, you should check your Twitter. Geekbox, Comedy Button, Good Jar Brain, All Talk Podcast, and Manga Machinations. Those are other podcasts. And if you're a Patreon backer, make sure you get our extra special long bonus episode going up tonight with the unedited Bryce Larsen Explains Game of Thrones.
Well played.
You're not going to want to miss that. Exclusive for Patreon backers. Check this shit out. See you guys next week.